Hi everyone, it's Vicki. Welcome to my channel and back to another episode of Tasting the States. And today up is Connecticut. Lots of seafood and other options for Connecticut that are very well covered by Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Maine, Rhode Island. So I found one that seems to only be in Connecticut, so that's what I chose. And it is the Cheeseburger, which I had never heard of before. And quite frankly, when I first started researching it and looking at it, I thought, oh no. But now I've come to terms, I think it probably is going to be very tasty. So let's get started with what we're going to need to make the Cheeseburger. First, we need some equipment, and this is a steamer. This actually has 3 trays in it, one down here, one in the top. But for right now, I'm only going to make one because Jerry's not home and it's early, so I'm going to make one just for the video. And then later tonight, I'll make it again for him, and by then it'll be perfected. All right, and you know, how do you make a burger without ground beef? And since I was unsure of this recipe, I went all out and got the best ingredients that I normally wouldn't pay as much for prime ground beef chuck burgers as I did today, or the other day when I went shopping. And on top of that, I wanted white cheddar, and I got, you know, the really nice cheese too. These are like $7 a thing, and I have 2 of them, so that's $14 of cheese. And that was to, just in case I didn't like it, it might make it a little better. But again, since watching it again, I have a better feeling about this recipe than what I did when I started. All right, so we're gonna need a bit of lettuce, you know, for the burger. We're gonna need onion. Now, full disclosure, I cannot eat raw onion. It should have a slice of raw onion on the hamburger, but I cannot eat it because of diverticulitis. That's something that sets off diverticulitis. So I have chopped up some onion that I will grill, you know, or saute, whatever, so that it has a little cook on it. It doesn't have to be caramelized, but it has to be something for me to be able to eat it. And then we'll need a slice of tomato. These are nice, pretty beef steaks. What I needed was Kaiser rolls, and I could not find them at all. So I didn't want a regular roll, I didn't want a Hawaiian roll, I didn't want brioche. So I got this one called a French roll, and I'm going to put it in the air fryer, which I have set up over there, and hopefully I can make it a little harder on the outside. I don't remember, but I think when I had a Kaiser roll before, it was a little bit harder on the outside, but tell me if I'm wrong. All right, so we will also need some sea salt for seasoning. That's all I saw for seasoning was salt on anything I looked at for this concoction. I will need, if I make it the way they make it in whatever part of Connecticut that was, I'm gonna need ketchup, I'm gonna need mayo, I'm gonna need mustard, and I am gonna need pickles. These are dill pickles. I just assumed that they were, you know, hamburger chip dill pickle type things. So this is it. This is all it is, and I think this is a pretty fast recipe. So let's get started. Okay, so we have water in the bottom. It doesn't say anything about putting any kind of, well, I never saw exact cooking instructions, but I never saw anything that suggested spraying it with anything. So I'm just going to put the hamburger straight in there. If it sticks, it sticks. Next, we'll salt the burger. It said to put plenty of salt, but not being a salt lover, that's how much I'm going to put. And I'm going to go ahead and carry this pan over to, pot, I should say, over to the stove for the next step. All right, so let's get the stove on. Since they're gonna make steam, may as well put it on, keep it on a pretty high heat, and then we'll put this next layer on here. Now, the cheese goes here. It says it's dishwasher and microwave safe. We'll see if it's steamer safe. It can only get to what, 212 degrees? Isn't that where water boils? So I don't think it's going to get above that temperature. But I don't know. I might have just made a huge mistake and break a cup and have to start over. But anyway, and now we wait. I'll get back with you when there starts to be some sort of progress. Okay, we'll take a peek here. Ooh, hot steam. Oh yeah, that's melted. I don't know how long the hamburger cooks for. I better go try to look that up. Kind of got off track with these and forgot to. That's okay. I don't mind them brown. Let's just turn this off. I think these are good enough. Yeah, I would love to eat them with a slice of raw onion, or maybe not a whole slice, but some rings, because I do like raw onion on a burger, but I don't want diverticulitis. Oh, and one more thing. Air fryer made it hot. Don't worry, the thing's not that greasy. The paper's greasy because I put some curly fries in there to eat with the burger, but I got hungry and ate them already, so there's that. Well, this is saying 6 to 10 minutes. See, I like really flat burgers, like smash burger kind of things, which is kind of crunchy on the edges, and I don't like any pink, so I'm definitely going for the 10 minutes at least. Well, it's kind of smelling like a burger joint in here already because I have all these things right here. So let's go ahead and put this together. While that finishes cooking, that thing's still hot. Okay, I'm gonna need something serrated. Let's just do one of these Victorinox. Yeah, maybe I'll let this bun cool down just a moment before I put, ouch, before I put mayonnaise on it. For some reason I don't like putting mayonnaise on something hot. Oh yeah, look at the steam. Can you see the steam come out of that? Oh boy, that smells good. I don't think we're gonna miss anything by not having the Kaiser, considering that this is smells really good. There we go. Did not want to come apart. All right, I'm gonna go check on our burgers. Okay, I took a peek at it and it looks like it's done. So let's finish this. All right, so I believe I saw them put a little mayo on the top and the bottom. So that's what we're gonna do. I do like mayo on a hamburger. I'm not a ketchup and mustard person on hamburgers. I love mustard and ketchup, but for different things. But because that's what the recipe, or the people who have made it online do. I shouldn't say a recipe. It's not really a recipe so much, I don't think. Come on. Of course, I got it everywhere. Please, no water. Don't you hate it when your mustard comes out as water? Oh, good, that's not so bad. All right, so that's just a little bit of each. Kind of didn't get in the middle. I don't know, this looks like some kind of hamburger sauce deconstructed. All right, so let's see. I have this and then that and that. Okay, so next will be to put the hamburger patty on here, I think. Yes, and then the cheese, and then all the other stuff. I think I got this wrong. I do have this wrong, so I'm gonna just put it upside down. Oh, that's a really thick piece of tomato. I like tomato on it, but I don't like really thick tomato on a burger. All right, let's just do this piece. And some lettuce. I'm trying to, go more with what the demonstrations had rather than what I like. But when it comes down to it, you can't help it. And I'm hungry. It's 3:48 and I didn't have breakfast or lunch, so other than those fries that I made for this and ate ahead of time. All right, so let's go get it. Okay, here we are at the steamer. I turned it off a couple minutes ago. Oh yeah, I forgot about the onion. All right, so we're gonna take this cheese out. Get a better look at that. Yeah, it looks very, very wet. Ooh, hot. Yeah, that looks like it's done. I don't see any red coming out of it. So I'm gonna call that done. And maybe I can just poke it. Oh no, red came out when I poked it. Nope. We're gonna put her back in for maybe, ouch, I forgot I can't just pick up that cheese. For like 3 minutes maybe. Yeah, let's do that, 3 or 4 minutes. Oh, okay. It's on. I don't see any flames. There we go. Now I can see. Oh, I hope there's still water in the bottom of that thing. I didn't think about that. I hear noise. All right, so we got it layered there. I hope that other video of me pouring that cheese and stuff on there came out. I don't know, camera shut off, so I don't know if it was the steam, the heat, or what. But okay, all right, let's try this bad boy. We have our burger, which is cheese everywhere. You can really smell the cheese. The dogs are interested. I'm gonna do a maybe a cut this way so you can see in it. All right. Let's see how she looks this way. I'm gonna go on this side where the cheese isn't falling out quite as much. Ooh, it's a messy burger. Oh, it's done perfectly done. Ooh, cheese is falling out anyway. See if I can get you a cross section. See the steam? All right, here goes. Okay, my very first concern when I saw this, not recipe, but people making it online, was that it would be dry because you're steaming it and the fat falls out. But then they said, no, that it doesn't, that the steam makes it moist, and that the steam makes it taste super beefy because like all the beef molecules or whatever, I forgot how they described it anyway, just gets trapped in there in the steam and back in the meat. And I see what they're saying. It could also be the meat that I purchased, but it was very beefy. My only complaint is it is a little salty to me. I wouldn't have salted this because of the amount of cheese that's on it. And it's, and cheese is salty to me. I'm not a salt lover, so I know my friend would say it's perfect. Okay, that bite with the veggies didn't seem salty. I think I just got a big mouthful of cheese on the first bite. Yeah, it's good. It's very good, actually. It's like, if you could have the flavor of a barbecue, grill, outside grill, but the moistness and of this together, oh my gosh. Ooh, maybe you can steam it on a barbecue grill. No, I still wouldn't get that. I would say it's a win, and I'm not a big homemade hamburger or thick hamburger person, but it's a win. It's nice and juicy. And now that I'm not in the big part of the cheese, I'm good. All right, so let's talk about Connecticut while we eat this, huh? Connecticut's a U.S. state in New England region of the Northeast, known as the Constitution State. That's its official motto or name. Its capital is Hartford, which I know is the big insurance capital. You always hear the Hartford commercials. And its most populous city is Bridgeport, which I've never even heard of until today. The state features a mix of urban and rural areas. See, I didn't even know it was rural. I thought it was beachy and urban, with a coastline on Long Island Sound, or as my friends who live there say, Long Island, forested hills, and historic towns. Connecticut is a hub for business and education. It's home to Yale University, and it offers a high quality of life with a blend of cultural heritage and natural beauty. The motto is in another language. I'm sure it's a native language, but it means he He who transplanted still sustains. It borders Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New York, and Long Island Sound. Camera stopped again. It's blaming it on the card. It is a different card than I've been using. So let me just get through it real quick. Okay, state bird is the American robin. State flower is mountain laurel. Obviously, it was one of the 13 original colonies. And it's known for, as far as production, crushed stone, mainly tap rock and limestone, and for construction, sand and gravel. Some about brick making. Apples are the most commonly grown fruit in Connecticut, but the biggest crop are nursery and greenhouse products, accounting for 45% of farm receipts. Greenhouses and nursery products include ornamental shrubs, flowers, bedding plants, hanging baskets, that sort of thing. Some famous people from there: George W. Bush, he's the only president born in Connecticut. Glenn Close, the actress. So let me just get the next week's pulled before the card goes out on me again. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I looked, I saw. All right, next one, Colorado. All right, see you next week in Colorado.